Cheryl Masters, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Growing up, was there music in your home, and did you have an interest in music?
I learnt piano when I was growing up, from probably about age 8. I wasn't a very diligent student. I didn't practice as much as I should, but I did enjoy playing piano. Yeah, and we always had a lot of music in the home, but I was the only one that learnt anything. Yeah.
Out of school, did you have any dream jobs in mind or an industry direction?
No, at high school I was very keen on photography actually, and I left school early. I only finished year 9, and because I had a job opportunity to work in a camera store, and I thought perhaps maybe I was heading that way, but I worked in a camera store in Launceston for 2.5 years before I started work at Barrats.
So what did you learn at the camera store that you took into the Barrats job?
It was basic retailing, so it was a very similar environment. About looking after customers and that type of thing. And I got used to working 5.5 days a week in retail, which was how it was, yeah.
And how did the job at Barrats Music come about?
That was an interesting story. I attended a church that Rob and Liz Barratt went to, and I was on a committee with Rob, and I was secretary of the committee, and I saw in the paper a position available for a junior secretary shop assistant at Barrats Music. So I had a chat to Rob about it at church on the Sunday, and he said, I was hoping that you might see that and apply for it. But he said the person that gets it will be mainly working for my dad, for Cyril. So he said, please apply. He said, I would like you to. So I applied for the job and had the interview with Cyril Barratt, and I got the job and started within a couple of weeks.
So what would a day's work be like when you first started? What kind of tasks were you performing?
When I first started, I learnt a lot about more secretarial and admin type things. I would serve in the shop if it was busy, but I was doing bookkeeping, accounts and banking and those sort of tasks, and working for Cyril Barratt Moore, who is Mark's grandfather. Yeah, so it was interesting, yes. I learnt a lot from him in the way of business management, and as I was there for longer, he taught me more things, and I was running some of the bookkeeping side of things as he started to get ready for retirement.
Yeah. It was 50 years ago that you started at Barrats.
Yes.
What kind of services did the store provide when you started?
Services would probably have been similar to what they are now. One service that we did provide was that we had a piano tuner on staff, a piano tuner repairman, who was actually Cyril Barratt's brother, Dave Barratt, and upstairs in the shop we had a workshop. So Dave used to go out and tune pianos and bring bits in to repair and work up there in the workshop, and that was so interesting to see pianos pulled to bits and being worked on up there. That was probably maybe the biggest change towards now, that we don't have the piano workshop, but we still used to do brass and wind repairs and guitar maintenance and all of those things, which we do now still, yeah.
So what was it like working for Mark Barratt's father and then Mark? Did they have similar styles of operation?
Well, I actually worked for 3 generations of Barratts, and they're all different in their own way. Cyril, who I started with, who was Mark's grandfather, was a very good businessman and very more on the admin bookkeeping side of things. Rob was a very good salesman, and had lots of ideas. He came up with a lot of ideas, and then just needed help with putting them into practice, and we worked well together doing those sort of things. And then when Mark started in the business, I was actually managing the business for a period of time when Rob was unwell, and so I had a hand in helping to train him, and he's also a very good salesman. So they've all been different, and all very good to work for, very good, fair bosses, and yeah, it's been good.
What are the main changes in the industry that you've witnessed over 50 years?
The biggest change would definitely have to be computers. Like when I started, we were using typewriters and adding machines and all of those sorts of pieces of equipment, and then computers started to come in, and well, now you can't do anything without your computer. It's pretty well no computer, you can't work. Equipment-wise or product-wise, when I started, chord organs were the in thing, sort of like a piano accordion on legs, I guess you'd describe them, with keys for the right hand and buttons for the left hand. We used to have just so many of them in the shop, you know, at Christmas time, and they were stacked away upstairs for lay-bys and that. But then it developed into portable keyboards and now digital pianos and that type of thing. Keyboards have certainly changed the most, I would say, over the 50 years, in what they can do. Guitars and drums are still there, but then all the digital effects that you can use with those is just mind-boggling, really, what's available now. Yeah.
Did you ever find that being a female in a male-dominated industry added any hurdles for you?
I was always fairly comfortable with that. I didn't find it difficult. No, and we've basically always had predominantly a male staff at Barrats, mainly because of the lifting involved. There's so much lifting of boxes to go upstairs and moving equipment and that sort of thing. But no, I didn't find it a hurdle.
Yeah. Any favourite customer stories, any characters that you've come across over 50 years that stand out to you?
Oh, look, there's always many different types of characters. You get the people that come in and think they know everything, or you get the people that come in and just really want help, and the mix in between is really what makes retailing so good, because you can try and help people, give them information and that. You know, you get the people that come in and try and steal a guitar, and one of the staff chases them down the street to try and get it back. A lot of variety of things during the day, yeah.
Being in Launceston, a town of, I think, 75,000 people, when you started it would have been a lot less.
Yep.
I imagine there would be a good sense of community within the music store.
There is a big sense of community, and all of the Barratts that have owned the business have been very keen to promote music in the community, and they've all done their, when opportunities have come up, they've done their best to help promote it by sponsoring and different areas. We, as much as we can, have attended concerts and promotions for music in the city, and been involved heavily with teachers. Our teacher network has been very good, and we've been quite keen to work with teachers in promoting music and having a teacher referral service and holding workshops for teachers, and I've worked in that area a lot, trying to promote community and the promotion of music. Yeah.
You're known for your work in the sheet music area. Was that right from the start, or was that a later responsibility?
That started later on. When I first started, we had a very small print section, but nobody was keen to take it on or to promote it, and it sort of developed a little bit that I was involved in it, and I was keen to promote it more, and I enjoyed it. And then we started having teacher workshops. I think 1991 was the first teacher workshop we had, which was with James and Jane Bastian in Launceston. And since then we've had over 40 workshops which we've had, and that's sort of helped to grow the print music section, and we've received some awards for our print section, and I'm quite thrilled about that, or have been over the years.
How has the customer's taste in sheet music evolved over the years?
It's the cycles where you get more interest in maybe classical, then more interest in pop. It's hard to always work out why this happens. And then you might have a season where it's instrumental is the big theme, and people are wanting to get some instrumental music to work on. Instrumental music has certainly grown in our print section. Probably to start with, we were more just focusing on piano vocal and classical piano music, but now we're into band music and orchestra music and, more of that type of thing, which isn't as mainstream as it was then, as it was in the early days.
Yeah. Were you responsible for ordering the sheet music?
Yes.
How good were you at knowing what might sell?
Oh, we had our glitches along the way. Yeah, there's some that have to go out in a sale bin because they weren't the right choice. But look, you've got to take risks to have a good selection for the customers.
Yeah. How do you see the future of sheet music, digital music in the industry?
It's hard to tell. Sheet music is certainly not as popular as it was. I think in a way it's a little bit like reading books. It may have gone through the phase where people are coming back to it because they like the printed copy in their hand. But digital music has certainly affected the sales of print music. I hope it doesn't go too far that way, because I still believe that having a book in your hand is a better way to have your music.
Yeah. What was it like going through the pandemic years at Barrats?
That was an interesting period, and for me personally, doing the admin side of things, I basically just worked from home. It was felt that was the best way for me to do admin. The guys still worked in the shop, and they had the counters across the front, and people couldn't come in and wander around. They could come to a desk and they were served, and we did a lot of deliveries. But business-wise, we were very fortunate because people didn't have a lot of things to do while they were locked up, and a lot of people took up a musical instrument. So we were very blessed business-wise during COVID that we were able to still retain good sales when we could get the products.
Yeah. Did you have any like loyal customers that came in and bought sheet music continuously, and you could sort of gauge their progress? Any sort of personal stories like that?
Yes, look, there's some teachers that I can recall when they were learning an instrument with one of the local teachers, and they were going through their exams and getting up to their teacher exams, and now they are teachers themselves. So, you know, we've had people that have really gone right through and been buying music from us, and now they're sending their students into us to get music. It's sort of gone round the full circle there, and there's quite a few that I could think of that are in that situation, yes.
Yeah, it must be gratifying for you.
Oh, it's great, yes. Yeah, and look, some of those have been customers, you know, for 20, 25 years or more. Yes, and there's a few teachers that go back that have been coming to us regularly for a lot of the years that I've worked there, and I've developed a lot of friendships with teachers and customers too.
So after 50 years at Barrats, and you think back about the store in retirement, what will be the strongest memories?
I think the customers really are my strongest memories. It follows on probably from what I've just said, that a lot of them have become friends, and you don't look on them as just customers. We talk about our families and what's going on, and we sort of know a history of each other. They know some of my history, I know some of theirs, and the customers are probably the thing that I will miss the most. There's a very strong history and friendship with the Barratt family as well, which I will miss the day-to-day part of that, but we'll still remain good friends even though I'm not working there. Yeah.
So in retirement, will there be the opportunity to go back and tinker on the piano?
I hope so, yes. A lot of people have said, well, you're going to take up a new instrument now, but I'm not real sure about that. But I certainly may tinker on the piano a bit more. That would be good for me, seeing we still have one at home.
Well, Cheryl, it's been great to chat with you, and thank you for your service to the industry.
Thank you, Greg, so much.